Reality says you ask first, and the question comes afterwards. Genesis 24 records something very different. Let's examine the evidence. Abraham sends his servant on an enormous assignment: find a wife for Isaac. The servant travels to Mesopotamia and stops beside a well, and there he prays. But this isn't a vague prayer. He asks God for a remarkably specific sign. He asked that the woman God has chosen would come to the well, and when he asked her for a drink, she would give him water, and then voluntarily offer to water his camels too. That's the evidence he's looking for. Now watch what happens. Genesis 24 verse 15 says, "And it came to pass, before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah came out." Before he had finished speaking. The Hebrew word is terem. It means before. And that's where this case gets interesting. The servant is still praying, and Rebekah is already coming. Think about what had to happen before she appeared at that well. Rebekah had already decided to get water. She had picked up her jar. She had left her home. She had begun walking toward the well. The servant hadn't even finished his prayer, but the answer was already in motion. Now let's keep examining the evidence. The servant asked Rebekah for a drink. Then before he asked anything else, she says, "I will draw water for your camels also." Exactly what he had just prayed. And Genesis doesn't rush past what she does next. She hurries. She empties her pitcher. She runs back to the well, and she continues drawing until all 10 camels have finished drinking. Don't read past that. A very thirsty camel can drink roughly 20 to 30 gallons of water in a drinking session. There were 10 camels. We don't know exactly how thirsty these particular animals were, so we can't calculate the exact amount that Rebekah drew. But potentially, she may have drawn hundreds of gallons of water by hand. And remember, this is the exact sign the servant had just asked God to give him. What does the servant do while all of this unfolds? Genesis says he watches her in silence. He's examining the evidence too. But now put Genesis 24 beside Isaiah 65 verse 24, which says, "Before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear." That's God talking. Look at those two passages together. Genesis says, before he had finished speaking, Rebekah came, and Isaiah says, before they call, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The prayer was not finished, but the answer was already coming. So here's my question. Could Genesis 24 be giving us a physical picture of the very principle God later states in Isaiah? Could an answer already be moving toward us before we've even finished asking? Perhaps. The text doesn't explicitly connect these two passages, but the evidence is sitting right in front of us. Before he finished speaking, Rebekah came. Before they call, I will answer. And Jesus takes this principle even further. In Matthew 6, verse 8, he tells us something extraordinary about the Father. Your Father knows what things you need before you ask him. There it is again. Before. Terem. Before the request is finished. Before we can see the answer. Before we know what God may already be arranging. The Father already knows. Maybe prayer isn't always the moment God begins to move. Sometimes it may be the moment that we begin to see that he was already moving. The evidence was presented. And now it's up to you to search the scriptures. Until next time, keep noticing.